Hello, and welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Ha Young, and I'm representing UNICC as a communications aide intern for today's interview. Talking Tech is a series of interviews celebrating girls and women in tech, brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, Equals, the Global Partnership for Gender Equality in the Digital Age, and the Office of the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Youth. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Kanita Aljovic. Kanita is the head of Clients and Projects Business Solutions Unit in the UNICC. She has more than 35 years of IT experience working in government sector of her native country of Bosnia and Herzegovina and former Yugoslavia, as well as in the United Nations for nearly 25 years. During her career in various roles, she's contributed to many major projects, most notably to Mercury, FPMS, UMOJA, etc. She has a degree in engineering with a specialization in information systems from Sarajevo University. Welcome, Kanita. Nice to have you today. And thank you so much for making the time to call today. Just to get us started, could you please detail for me basically how you are, where you are today in the UNICC as the head of clients and projects in the business solutions, and what sort of experiences and background in IT, or perhaps otherwise, that has led you to pursue your career?
Thank you. It is my pleasure actually to try to contribute to this great initiative. And when I think about my career in IT now, my interest for IT was probably influenced by my father, who was really passionate about technical sciences and about learning in general, as well as my older brother who took similar path. I studied IT in 80s, early 80s, actually started in 1980, and always knew I wanted to be in this field, and I still like it as in early days as well, the same feeling and attraction. I had a scholarship from the major company for one of the major companies in former Yugoslavia, where that employed more than 40,000 staff, had more than 40,000 staff, and was like consortium of different branches, including factories, construction sub-companies, research centers, and also had computing center called, the company name was EnergoInvest, and the name of the computing center was EnergoInvest Computing Center, which is ECC. Remind you on something. Why I'm saying this is that this large consortium could be compared in its size with the UN, but also the type of IT products and services that that computing center was providing would be comparable with our ICC. So at the time, I was a part of teams that developed and service information systems for supporting human resources operations, payroll and finance, and procurement, medical management information systems. So this would be a predecessor of today's ERPs. And of course, the service was provided to entire consortium, but also to some external companies like payroll for many companies in that Republic time. In general, in 98, and it was from 86 to 92 when the war started in Bosnia and Herzegovina, when I had to stop working for the company and ended up in communications until 1996, and when I, right after the war, joined UN mission in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that was UNMIB mission. that joining to UN was really a game changer for me. That was a start of a wonderful journey, something that I still live, actually. That's like my second professional life. There I was started as a programmer and then system analyst, participating in various projects, really, where we developed FPMS, that field personnel system, then WODM for ITOF, Mercury procurement system, many others that re-automated different business processes within the mission first, and some of them were also implemented in many other missions, or all missions, some in all missions across the world. So it was a real, many of them were really great and big projects. I really wish that I could describe better how I felt working for the UN, and when I had opportunity to visit many other countries with a similar situation, like after ending the war, which just ended in my country. I visited, my first visit to another UN mission was visiting mission in Angola, and see how, first of all, UN helped in my country, but also to witness contribution to betterment of situation for people in other countries. I also visited some other missions in Congo or Southeast Asia, East Timor, and so on. And that experience was something that I cannot compare with anything else during my career. The real essence of UN and what UN means, and being a little piece in that big machine, how personal accomplishment gives or to me. I joined the ICC in 2003, and this was one also of most challenging years of my life. Although I traveled a lot before, this was the first time I left home place for a longer period, leaving my family behind. I was a single woman in a foreign country, joining new team, and luckily only 1 year after my husband managed to join me. He's an artist and he could bring his job with him. You could see these paintings around. So within UNICC, I continued supporting UN field missions and other UN customers, participating again in different projects. Again, Mercury, this time developed in new modern platform, .NET technology, then Galileo, supporting UMOJA, joining that huge, the biggest UN project ever, I think, and many others. And at the same time, playing different roles, leading different teams. But another turn in my career would be, what happened really 5 years ago, when I got this position where I'm now, the position of a head of a business solution unit, and where I'm leading a team of 25 amazing, really smart people that I every single day learn from. At the same time, I'm trying to support them, to motivate and inspire them and encourage them in their career and in the, first of all, in their daily business, but also in their careers.
So, well, I just want to thank you for giving that amazing explanation about how closely your occupation and your passion for IT is tied to what you've witnessed in, well, the war and then also in the mission. So I think that was a beautiful narrative, because not many people get to say that. You know, a lot of people don't quite feel that same connection as you do. So that was really beautiful. And and if, if I'm not wrong, like I believe that your work that you do in UNICC right now is directly affecting the field missions and the field work, which is that connection is also very special. So I suppose my next question is, in your extensive years and in your career, which project or a certain position gave you the most opportunity to grow in your field? Tell me about this experience and what you've taken away from it.
Okay. I would say that it was more than one project, or rather each project I was involved in enabled me to grow, whether in a technical field or a business or management. But the most important, it was the people with whom I work with that helped me to grow as a professional and as a person as well. And I'm really grateful to all of them. People in the team that I worked with, or the users that I would support in the end, or would train during the project implementation. In my case, projects were mostly related to automation of business processes and, of course, application development. For each of them applies that in addition to mastering technology used as a platform, as with the time technologies have changed, so they were changing and they are still changing, and for each of them, it would made me learn the full business process. If you are developing application to support certain process, you have to know the process. And getting to know the people that will use those applications as well. That made me to create a great framework of people that I work even today, and that help me today in delivering my daily job, doing my daily job. So that's something priceless. You can't have it. I can pick up the phone and call somebody in, I don't know, MONUSCO or Congo or Lebanon, if I need to connect my application with something there. And that really gives a special flavor to my job today. If you really wish me to mention some specific projects, that would be maybe the first big one, that was a FPMS personnel system that gave me opportunity to learn the process end to end, to become the trainer to even to HR people, in HR, to visit number of field missions and receive several job opportunities after all. Worth to mention would be also Mercury procurement system, quite famous still around UN world, and that was much bigger in its scale and had two versions in different platforms. But as my personal project, I would say that my current role of head business solution unit is the one I like the most, where those 25 people were amazing, really smart, and at the same time I'm supporting them. I'm trying to live with them. All our work we do together, we encourage each other's, and that's something that really makes me very happy and proud.
That's so good to hear. And, I almost feel as if the reason why you enjoy your role right now so much is because you have grown so much in the opportunities you've previously had. So definitely kudos to you for that. And in our previous conversations, you've mentioned how you work with a team, and something that you do specifically is for the women in your team. You make it your intention to provide opportunities for them to really showcase what they can do. And so I want to shift this conversation to gender and gender parity in the tech field. And so my next question for you is, throughout your career, when was your gender as a woman, when was it most salient to you? And you can feel free to speak as specifically or as generally as you see fit.
Honestly, I would say that I grew up in a socialist environment in the former Yugoslavia, where I never really felt that gender was an obstacle for professional growth. It's not easy to understand to people that didn't live in environment like that, but all people from former Yugoslavia would know exactly what I mean. It was a whole society was based on equality with no extremes, up or down. So gender was equally treated. Men and women were supposed to be the same. So that was an official policy. And this feeling kept me on going in all my professional endeavors. Me personally, I cannot say that I was upset any time due to this gender inequality. Honestly, in my beginning in UNICC, most of senior and mid-managerial positions were occupied by men. And over the time, as UN recognized this as an issue, I can say that the situation has changed, at least for a mid-management levels in IT. However, we are yet to see the change in the senior positions, and I hope to see that before I retire. I can say that I'm inspired almost on a daily basis by my female colleagues who are able to juggle their professional obligations, their significant family duties, especially in the last year or more, challenged by COVID crisis. Even talking to them sometimes brings a light to me, new ideas and perspectives in various situations. Of course, I also don't like to make a difference between men and women in professional area, for sure. And I equally like to work with the men and my male or female colleagues. And we are making progress in doing everything in our power, everything to support operations of many UN structures, but only together, men and women. And that would be my message. We need to work together to provide a benefit and give additional value to those environments where this contribution to both genders is not appropriate. Doesn't have to be equal, but should be somehow appropriate according to the needs.
Mm-hmm. And I think just because you've been in UNICC and the UN system for so long, you have actually seen the effects of this initiative. And, and sure. I'm sure you can attest to the fact that women aren't in leadership roles because they're women. They're in leadership roles because they're phenomenal. And, the fact that they are women shows that, there is that equality, and eventually there is that gender parity that needs to happen in order for those conversations to help everyone work together and everyone to propel forward. And if I can move on to my next question, speaking of going forward, where do you hope to see, not even gender, just thinking about your career in general or your projects that you're handling, your team that you're handling, how would you like for your career to continue, or what projects would you like to accomplish in your position? And, and if you do want to speak on gender, you can also add on to sort of seeing how you would like to see the role of gender shift or perhaps not shift in your field.
Okay, thank you for this question.
It's a big one.
I ask myself that very often. Only I don't have a final answer. I will try to answer with the one I have now. In this phase of my career, when I look back, I can tell that I did not only contribute to the projects, but also to the life of the people that UN is helping, and also to the colleagues in my teams that I work with. I take a lot of pride in knowing that that now, how I can say, I'm managing highly functional team, and that I'm personally inspired by the team. And I'm happy to be able to help push through many of their good initiatives. And this is something that keeps me going. I encourage my teammates, especially, to move in their careers, but to learn and improve their technical knowledge while I'm guiding, coaching, empowering them. And UN is environment where different type of trainings are available, as well as access to the latest technologies. And I'm doing it for all my staff. I cannot make a difference among men and women, or male or female. But I'm trying to enlarge the base of people that we or to give opportunity to female candidates, as they do not show up in IT interviews in the number I would expect. So I'm participating in the initiative of having interns in the team, and to try to give them opportunity as well to learn about UN, about the work, about operations, about everything. And that is let's say, a larger scale of people to get access to UN, at least temporary, as interns. As we don't have a lot of room for hiring people, like new people. Yeah. Unless somebody leaves, you hire new one. But having interns, it's not that strict, and that could open a door for more women to join the team that I'm leading, which is operational, which is a IT team, which is very technical in the end. And I believe that empowering the people is the best model of management. That's how I lead my team. And even I'm few years far from retirement, honestly, I'm happy and very happy with my current role in the organization. I'm still open for new opportunities and challenges that may arise. And I think it's never really too late for new opportunities and new endeavors in a life.
That's wow. And I'm not even part of your team, and I'm not working in technical aspects of UNICC, but just hearing you speak on that in terms of how you view your career, that is it's inspiring. So for people like me who look up to you, and other people who are looking to get into IT and maybe even interested in joining the UN and the UN, the agencies in the UN, what is a piece of advice that you would give to that sort of person?
I have to talk about IT, but we talk about everything. But when it comes to IT, with this significant growth in technology, with IT in its focus, and all this technology is right here and available to everybody, giving chance to all to develop interest for IT and in their early age, including you. Yeah. So your technology is all around and accessible, available, latest one, which was not the case a few decades before. And with a wide range of IT areas, there is a place for literally everybody who feels a call for it, regardless of a background. Most importantly, in this time of globalization, skills acquired in any IT field are easily transferable to any environment where we are all using same or similar platforms as a tool. So whole world is yours. You don't have to stick to IT in Bosnia. You can go easily and be transferred to the United States, to China, to any place in the world. If you have that knowledge, it's amazing, really. And to my younger women colleagues, if I need to tell them something, I would give them the advice that I think to apply to each profession, that to be passionate about it and learn and do it diligently. And progress in a career will come naturally. I could say also that UN offers many possibilities for a careers, not only in IT. And if woman is passionate and skilled, or is even considering joining IT industry, UN is exactly the place where her potential can thrive and she can develop further. This is the right place, really. UN provides number of options, possibilities in professional growth first, but also in a career growth. And what inspires me every day is really the fact that although we cannot see it, it's not tangible, and our work here, where I am now, is to help humanity in the entire world, to support peace processes, to stop hunger, to facilitate migrations, and to increase security of all people, and so on. And to me, personally, this thought is so powerful. And if I was young again and was choosing my career path, I would not think twice. UN would be my choice again. I've no doubts at all.
I don't think you could have said advice that is more representative of your career and what you have picked up along your decades in your career. And so that was definitely words of wisdom there. Is there anything else you'd like to contribute to this interview before we close? Or
I would really like to ask you a few questions, maybe related to it. And first, to tell me, what is your background? How did you end up interviewing me or being with me in this discussion? Two generations. Like.
Yes. Well, I am in the communications unit, so not the technical side, but I am providing support for the organization. I have always been interested in tech and in humanitarian issues. So this just seemed to be the perfect role for me. And I haven't been out of school for too long. So I really wanted to take this opportunity, this time in my life to learn. Eventually, I do want to pursue law school. And I believe that, a lot of facets of the legal sector is actually very, very, very aligned to tech. Because both law and tech, when used correctly, can be used to really advance those humanitarian needs, right? If we just think about, immigration, if we think about, just migration in general. And I personally, growing up, I haven't seen a lot of intersection in the two. Now it's a different story, obviously, because, 21st century, all that. But I think that it is a very young field. And I think it's something that, as tech is changing every day, the law needs to keep up. And that is a frontier that I want to be a part of. So that's my background. And I hope to learn more about tech in the field of humanitarian crises, humanitarian issues from the UNICC to apply to my professional career going forward.
Oh, if IT calls you, then it's never late. And I find, especially in the old days, many people that had a different background, not only IT, and joined IT and became very good in IT. As this is not only technical any longer. It has so many areas like data mining, maybe security, something that was not any longer only networking or applications development. So I'm looking forward to see you joining UN as a lawyer one day, or as an IT expert.
That can be my defining factor.
Do you have your vision of your future? Do you have something that you would like to, or doors were just opening like for me?
I don't have any specific vision, and some may say that is a detriment, but I don't think so. I mean, I've only been in UNICC for 2 months, and and 3 months ago I did not think that I'd be here, and so I think that's, and in the 2 months that I've been here, I've just learned so much that I did not think that I could have picked up in 2 months. So if that can happen in 3 months, then anything can happen, right? With the career that I want to go to. And I definitely am open to learning and to exploring a lot of opportunities. And I will not disregard IT, even though I don't really think I have the brain for it, but I will definitely keep it in the list of possibilities. So I just wanted to thank you for the interview today. It really was amazing speaking with you, especially, I consider you to be a mentor in this field, and, just your life experiences. It's been such a treat speaking with you. And yeah, I hope you, for all the viewers watching, I hope that this interview was meaningful and was informative. And thank you for listening and attending. So thank you.